Hello plant friends, it's Alonia here and welcome to my tiny balcony here in suburban Sydney where I'm learning to grow cold, cool and intermediate orchids with just me, my orchids and Mother Nature out there. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for pressing play on this video, and if you are returning, thank you for coming back. It's lovely to have you all here with me today. Sorry about the noise if you can hear cockatoos. I've got a gang of them flying backwards and forwards and causing a racket. Now, over the last few months, I have been nursing a Bulbophyllum Carunculatum that I got at the St Ives Orchid Show back in, I think it was August last year now, and I've repotted it because the pot that it was in was not great. This has been a little bit of a bane of my existence. I have tried many different ways to try and grow this thing, but it is not doing well at all. It has developed some black spots on the back of the leaves. I don't know if they're bacterial, I don't know if they're fungal. It developed a definite bacterial infection on the new growth, which I have since removed and disposed of. And it just generally is a very unhappy plant. When I bought it, it did come with 2 flower spikes on it. One of them broke after the cockatoos threw the pot off the balcony at the old balcony space, and then the other one broke when a cockatoo decided to go hedging it. As you can see, I don't know if it comes up on camera, but along the top of the balcony here, I've put bird spikes back. I found a cockatoo landing in this branch right here a couple of days back, so I've had to put the bird spikes back up as they are trying to come in and decimate my plants again. The name for this is a compound Greek word, bulbos or bulb, denoting the pseudobulb at the bottom here, and phylos, which is the leaf. A bit glary today. So here we have a single bulb topped with a single bat-shaped leaf. Now, this particular orchid is considered a subspecies of Bulbophyllum amplibracteatum and also Bulbophyllum orthoglossum with a subspecies of Carunculatum. So the caruncles refer to the 2 little outgrowths at the base of the labellum on the flower. The flower stalks get up to 45 centimetres long, which is a fairly long flower stalk, and until the cockatoos got mine, they were both very, very long. They had 36 and 41 flower nodes each, but alas, cockatoos. The Bulbophyllum genus has about 2,000 species and hybrids in it, so it's a fairly large genus. So like any other epiphyte, they will grow in the nooks and crannies of trees where detritus accumulates, water gets into, and they take their nutrients. This particular genus, it's native to Sulawesi. It is a large island in Indonesia, directly east of Borneo. They're warm growing, so they grow at the 800 to 900 metre altitude in the residual and primary forests of Sulawesi. So this distribution indicates that they might prefer to be a little bit humid, a little bit damp, but not drenched or saturated. They grow in a medium to low light, so I think I might actually have this one a little too high. It lives just here, so quite close to the top of the balcony, and I think that might be a little too bright. So when I finished with it today, I will be swapping it out down onto the floor, and I'll be putting this Cymbidium back in its place, and this will go down one level where it's a little dimmer and not quite so bright. So I think I've got a couple of things going on here. I've had trouble with this. It doesn't seem to like this particular pot. It also possibly is a little dry and it needs a bit more moisture. I don't think this curling of the leaf is particularly correct, considering these newer ones have a nice paddle-shaped leaf. It's overpotted. It's currently in a terracotta pot. I think this makes it too dry. Terracotta being that it takes moisture and it evaporates out, keeping the media cooler. I don't think it's holding enough moisture for the rhizome root. I also think that it's not humid enough, so I'm going to change this out and I'm going to add another tray with some scoria chip underneath it to form a humidity tray, hopefully elevating the humidity around this plant. I have looked for all sorts of care instructions about this, and I have found very little in the way of care instructions. So maybe my technique of what I'm about to do may work for you. The mixture is standard orchid bark, perlite. There's a bit of char in here, and I've also, looks like I've put some sphagnum moss. I don't think I've got enough, so I'm going to try and increase the moisture of the planting media. So I am going to repot this, and I'm going to try a different pot. Shock horror. I'm going to put it back into a plastic pot. Now this is a 1.4 litre, what we call a Waterwell pot, which means the drainage holes are above the level of the base of the pot. There are no drainage holes around the outside of the pot, and there are no air holes or ventilation holes in the walls of the pot either. Now this one is in two pieces, so I'm going to split it into two Waterwell pots. I'm going to rearrange around here, and I'll come back. You'll be looking at this, and we are going to be unpotting this, and we will be repotting it into the Waterwell pot. For the first part of this process, I need to prepare my pots. And by preparing my pots, I mean I'm going to fill this bottom reservoir part with a little bit of draining media. And for this, I'm going to use the broken sherds of my terracotta pot that's a little bit too large, so I need to break those down. Trusty rolling pin. And I will just throw the sherds into the bottom of the Waterwell pot here, just to give some barrier between the planting media and the bottom of the pot and the water. It's just enough to give the water somewhere to rest that's not in direct contact with the planting media. I'm going to start lifting this plant out of the oversized pot here and showing you what's going on underneath. Now this looks very dry. You would never think that I have watered this plant every day for the last 6 months, but we can just see here under my glove near my thumb there is another little pseudobulb growth coming, which is great. So the plant itself is either dying and trying to save itself, or it's just doing its natural thing. And I see. So there is the rhizome connection. It's really hard to see, but it's just in here where it's connected to the next bulb over, and there's another one under my left hand here. Turn it over to see if I can get a better look at this. And I'm not seeing the easiest place to snip it, but take my trusty scissors, sterilize it with isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just going to go in and snip it on this connection if I can. There we go. So there's one. Now you wouldn't normally do this for less than 5 or 6 bulbs according to the reading I've done, but there is a lot of new roots coming through here, so I'm okay with this one being separated off. It looks pretty healthy. Don't know what these black spots are though. I don't see it on any of the newer growths, but all of those bulbs are fairly firm, so we'll put that one aside. So there's an old bulb just here which I'm going to try and take out, and I've also got one in the middle, so we'll just see if I can tease these out. I might just leave this for now actually. The roots are really dry, so I'm not happy with what's going on here, so definitely this needed a repot. So let's take this away. Okay, so I was not the smartest when I was repotting this second plant. Now, when I separated these, this one had quite a lot of roots. They were dry, so I did spritz them with some water out of my little water sprayer. And I've potted it up in exactly the same way as this one. So the Waterwell pot with the crocks and the gravel below, the little bit of Osmocote 6-month fertilizer, mycorrhizal fungi. I have down potted this, so hopefully this will help. But now that they're both done, I am going to give them a drink with a diluted sea salt solution. So this is just a seaweed tonic. So I have a little green watering can here. So what we'll do is we will just mix up a small amount of the seaweed solution. Just stir it. If you were smart, you would put the seaweed solution in the bottom of the can before you put the water in. And these little pots hold, I measured it earlier, hold about 60 mils of water in the Waterwell pot. The seaweed solution, it's a tonic. It will help the roots settle into their new environment. So now that they've both been repotted, I am going to move them into a slightly different location this time. So I had them sitting on the spot where this Cymbidium is, and I think it's too bright for them there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them onto the floor. Just about here is where I'm going to move them to. So hopefully in this new spot they will be much happier, lower light levels, no direct sunshine here. So cross fingers, plant friends, this little plant hopefully will do better in its new digs. I will put some sources under there so that I can add water and it can increase the humidity. So plant friends, this brings us to the end of another video for this week, and I hope you did enjoy learning a little bit about the Bulbophyllum Carunculatum. It is a really difficult plant to find any information about, so there was lots of little snippets about where they grow, where they're native to, how they grow, but when it comes to their moisture level requirements, their fertilizing, there's not a lot about it. So I'm going to keep monitoring on these, and I will come back in about 6 months to see where this is up to and how this little new pseudobulb is developing over on the smaller of the two plants here. So for now, if you would like to follow along on my adventures and see what I've learned from week to week, please do press the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time that I upload. And if you found this video useful, please do press the like button so that I can be sure to create more content like this. If you have ever grown this particular kind of plant before, please let me know in the comments below what worked for you, what didn't, what you liked about it, and if you keep it inside when it's flowering, and what does that flower actually smell like. So for now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Bye for now.